Hello and welcome. My name's Karina Stocker and I'm the Unit Coordinator and an ELA for Supporting Diversity and Equity. Welcome and congratulations for making it this far in the TP. It has been quite a busy one. This is our pre-recorded video for Assessment 3, the team task. Our live session will be held next Monday at 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, so I hope to see you all there. The idea behind this is that you watch this recorded video and you can write down some questions or reflect and think of some questions ready for the live session where it's a bit more of an open forum. So let's get started. So this team task, it actually contributes to 30% of your final mark. The word count is 2,500 words, plus or minus 10%. So that means your assessment should be between 2,250 words and 2,750. So outside of that, you will actually be deducted a penalty. So just make sure that your word count is within those two numbers. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be creating a package of teaching resources and a lesson plan. And this assessment has been designed to support your consolidation of the unit and also to provide team teaching and lesson writing experience. It's due on Monday, the 6th of June. If you are needing an extension, just make sure that you're requesting this prior to the due date. So the assessment task requires you as part of a team, so that would be a team of 3, possibly 4, to source and develop a package of teaching resources to address a specific current social issue that could be used by other educators. So it's a teaching pack with a lesson plan that other teachers could use. So it needs to be clear and it needs to be something that is practical. Suggested possible issues are changing family structures, domestic violence, drug education for primary school students, homework, alternative education, challenging behaviour, same-sex parents, students with disabilities, working with ESL students or EAL students as it's now termed, refugees, juvenile justice, children who have lost a parent, so dealing with grief, and children in shared care. If you are wanting to do a topic outside of this suggested list, then you will need to negotiate that with your ELA. So make sure you're doing that early on. So at this stage of the TP, you should already have your groups allocated and you should have contacted your group members. So make sure if you haven't done that, you need to email your ELA as soon as possible to make sure that the problems can be resolved quickly. Okay, so what do you need to do? As a team, you will locate 3 resources in relation to your chosen issue. So just the one issue that you've chosen. Your team will then design a lesson plan in line with this chosen issue, and the lesson plan can be for any primary school age. You will need to provide an overview document with an introduction and rationale for the lesson, resources, and issue selected. All 3 resources chosen need to be included or referenced somewhere within the package. You will also need to document your evidence of your teamwork. So we're going to go through these dot points in more detail. So when we're looking at the resources, you'll need to select 3, and the resources that you select should assist educators in understanding your issue, in teaching something in relation to your issue, or in supporting children in relation to your chosen issue. So your resource doesn't have to be an activity, or it could be anything that the teacher could use in their understanding or in teaching or in supporting children. So that opens up the range of resources that you can use. At least one of the resources must be explicitly referred to in your lesson plan. So somewhere in your lesson plan, you need to have reference to one of your resources. So if it is an activity that the students are doing, then that needs to be referenced in your lesson plan. Or if it is a supporting document that the teacher must use when working with the students in that lesson, then you need to refer to it. It needs to be in your lesson. And all 3 resources must be referred to within the package. So you can't just put the resources in as an appendix. or links to the resources as an appendix, you must refer to them. So you might refer to them in the overview, or you will definitely refer to one of them or all of them in the lesson plan. It's really up to you, but you just make sure you remember these last 2 points. You must refer to one in the lesson plan, and then all 3 must be referred to within your package. Okay, so what do we do for the overview document? So this is approximately 1200 to 1400 words. You'll need to have a title of the resource package that your team will come up with, and it needs to highlight the issue. So the title should relate to the issue. It needs to have an introduction explaining the issue, so what the issue is and how it affects or what it means for children's equity. So you need to discuss that. So how it affects or what it means for children's equity. A description of the purpose and rationale for the lesson plan and resources, including how they support equitable and diverse learning approaches. So a description of the purpose and rationale for the lesson plan and the resources. It needs to have a discussion and evaluation of the issue and different teaching approaches as covered in the unit, in addition to the team's reading. So teaching approaches and things that are covered in the unit, but also extra reading that you're going to do outside of the learning materials. There needs to be a discussion of the resources, including the pros and cons of each resource, and conclusions regarding choices made by the team as to how the resources link to teaching practice. Any further supplementary information and support links for teachers should be in there too. So there is a lot that you have to do there, and you've only got 1200 to 1400 words. So use this as a little tick box to make sure that you're covering all of those items. Okay, so your lesson plan should be approximately 1200 words. Your lesson design should assist in either teaching or supporting children in dealing with your chosen issue. So you can teach them something, or you can use your lesson as a supporting activity to support children dealing with this issue. And so there's the 2 options there. Should include strategies for teachers to use to support equitable and diverse learning approaches during the lesson. So you need, within your lesson plan, there needs to be strategies that the teacher, whoever picks up your package, can use to support equitable and diverse learning. Provide explicit reference to at least one of the resources you collected, and you can use the SOL lesson plan template. So there's a link, I might actually show you here in the assessment details. If I just scroll down to the additional resources, this 4th dot point here, the interactive lesson plan example. So click on that, there's an audio section, and then you can look at all different parts of a lesson plan. And then you can use the template, which your ELA will post onto your discussion board, or it is available in the student toolbox. Okay, so make sure you're using that resource there. Okay, extra parts. You will also provide an appendix documenting evidence of your team effort, no more than 2 pages. So the appendix could be screenshots of discussions or collaborative work such as a team Google Doc. We just need to see that you've been working together successfully as part of your assessment. And we also need a reference list in APA, noting both the 3 resources, they need to be referenced in your list, and any additional readings and materials that you utilise, whether that be for the lesson plan or whether that be where you've supported your ideas in the overview document. And these 2 things are not included in your word count, just so you know. Okay, submission. All work will need to be collated and submitted in a single Word document. So we want it in a Word document and submitted to turn it in. Each member of the team will be responsible for submitting an individual copy of the same final assessment. So there's 3 group members, you all submit the exact same final assessment individually. The one holistic document should include the overview document, which is the introduction and the rationale, the lesson plan, a reference list, and your appendix. So 4 things. Ensure that all team members' names are listed on the cover page or the first page of the document. We need all team members' names. Okay, assessment criteria. There are 5 overall assessment criteria that you are required to meet. And this is just from the assessment details sheet that I showed you before. If we scroll down here, there we go, the assessment criteria. So you work with that alongside, obviously, your holistic rubric that you have. So all of these things need to be ticked off on your list to see that you're meeting these requirements. So the 5 things are knowledge and analysis of the issue in relation to children's equity and learning environments or education contexts. Evaluation of teaching approaches. So that will be in your overview document. You will be talking about teaching approaches. Design of approaches that support equitable learning environments. So are you putting those approaches in your lesson plan so that you are supporting equitable learning environments? Communication and presentation, teamwork and cohesion of ideas. So they're the 5 things that you need to meet. And as I said before, you'll be marked using the holistic rubric. This simply means that you need to demonstrate each descriptor before you can be considered for a higher grade. So let's take a quick look. For the pass grade, you would need to meet all of these dot points here. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before we could consider you for a credit. And then if you met all of those 6 dot points, then we could consider you for a distinction. And to be considered for a high distinction, you need to have met all of the dot points below. So distinction, the credit, and the pass to be able to get a high distinction. Okay? And make sure you're using your rubric as you are working through your assessment. Have it right there next to you. So yes, we are submitting by Turnitin, and every single group member will be submitting for themselves, and it must be the same document. And it's due Monday the 6th of June, so week 12. So really what I want you to know is across the package, we need to ensure that you have discussed the issue in teaching contexts, including terms of how behaviours and other considerations might appear, evaluate different teaching approaches and how applicable these approaches are to supporting your issue in the learning environment. And you need to make sure that you're referring to all 3 resources in some way in your package, but make sure that you're referring to at least one of your resources in your lesson plan. So that's a summary of everything. Okay, best of luck. You may have lots of questions, and that's okay. That's why we have the live Collaborate session next Monday at 7:30. I hope to see you there. Thank you. Bye.